Hey folks, everything new under the sun. Is this why there was a fat-fingered routing configuration file error with Rogers in Canada, taking out all of Rogers services across the whole of Canada? Telecommunications giant, causing all E911 to go down, direct debit cards to go down, multiple banks, most of them, to be down, people forced to use cash if they had it or scramble. Businesses lost millions of dollars. This came out, this was Thursday. Russia says it will increase gas to Europe under one condition. What is that condition and who does it relate to? Russia will increase gas supplies to Europe if a turbine necessary for Nord Stream 1 that is currently undergoing repair in Canada is returned. Is this a shot across the bow? And I suggest, the government's not going to come out and say this was a cyber attack. They don't want to scare the public. They don't want the public to really know what's happening. We have been warned of cyber attacks from Joe Biden himself. He said there will be cyber attacks. Should we expect cyber attacks? Yes, we should. What would a cyber attack look like? Well, it wouldn't have the logo of Russia on it. It wouldn't have the Russian flag all over websites. Russia's not going to come out and say this was us. No country does that. They want to make it look like a mistake. They want to make it look like an accident by a local technician or company. The company, Rogers, they're not going to come out and say this was a cyber attack. That would make their security systems look useless and make them look bad. The best way to do is to hand it off as a fat finger, a configuration file mistake by one of their technicians, by one of their low, intern IT technicians, and then fire that guy and be done with it. They don't want any blame on them or any fear of the security of their systems being less than what it should be. But their systems all across Canada went down on Friday. Ukraine urged Canada on Thursday not to return a gas turbine to Gazprom, claiming that the Russian major has enough turbines to keep gas flowing to Europe at full capacity. Well, if they have enough turbines, why doesn't Ukraine want it returned? If this isn't hurting Russia, why would Ukraine say don't return it? Well, according to Reuters report that cited a Ukrainian government official, if Canada returns a turbine to Gazprom, it would violate its own sanctions. The sanctions forbid the transfer of equipment related to gas, the Ukrainian government source said. If, God forbid, the decision is approved, we will undoubtedly appeal to our European colleagues that their approach must be reassessed. This turbine is hitting Russia right at the heart of what it's using to blackmail and to control Ukraine and to control Europe and, therefore, NATO. If Russia does not have Europe over the barrel in terms of threatening it with loss of gas, if Russia can't threaten loss of gas and energy, then it has no power and it has no income. So this is a big deal for Russia. This is a military threat to Russia that Canada is not returning this turbine to keep their pipelines going. Could this be why there was a massive outage, which lasted for 15, 20, I'm not sure what the end amount of time was. They're still having issues. Their website still says that most customers are back online, but not all. Is this why? Remember, this was Thursday. Ukraine is telling Canada not to return it Thursday. And then we have maybe a shot across the bow, a warning to Canada saying, hey, pay attention. If you don't return this to us, we're really going to attack you. We're really going to take down your systems. And all of telecommunication systems across Canada related to Rogers went down. Meanwhile, Germany's economy minister Habeck called on Canada to release the turbine. I'll be the first one who will fight for a further strong EU sanction package, but strong sanctions means it must hurt and harm Russia and Putin more than it hurts more than it does our economy. Therefore, I ask for understanding that we have to take this turbine excuse away from Putin. This is a big deal. I could not overstate it enough. If they don't get their turbine back, if they are prevented or limited in providing gas, which is their main money maker, they're going to take the war to us. Have they done that? It says, meanwhile, Canada has indicated that it has no intention of returning the turbine. Does this mean there's going to be further communication systems going down in the future, all in the name of fat finger configuration file problems? Why didn't all the backup systems work for Rogers? All the layers of security and redundancy, why didn't those work? This downtime for the second largest telecommunications provider in Canada is inconceivable to me. This is not a technician error that this happened across Canada. It's inconceivable. In the year 2022, with redundant systems, this doesn't make any sense. What would Russia do? They're not going to put their name all over this. They're going to make it look like, oops, a mistake by Rogers. But Canadian intelligence knows this is a shot across the bow. If you don't get the turbine back to us, this and more is coming to Canada. Folks, be prepared. If Canada doesn't back down, and Canada shows that it hasn't backed down, Prime Minister Trudeau isn't being particularly strategically smart about many of these things. And if that keeps up, that means we're in the crosshairs of Russia. We are threatening their livelihood in terms of selling oil. That means if they're going to hit anybody, they're going to hit Canada to make sure they get this component back. And they're going to threaten them, and there's going to be more of these quote unquote mistakes by telecommunications companies, electricity companies, you name it. There's going to be all sorts of weird things happening with infrastructure across Canada, and I think it's going to be effectively cyber attacks that they're not putting their name on, but will act as a warning to the intelligence community to work with us, or you will see the consequences. You will be dragged into this war. Thanks for watching, guys. Have cash on hand. Have gasoline on hand. If debit cards go down, you won't be able to buy gasoline. If you have some gas backed up in jerry cans, you will have at least enough to fill your tank up one last time if you need to get out of Dodge quickly. Be prepared, folks. This is coming to a country, a city, a place near you where you won't be able to buy what you need. And we are right on Russia's doorstep. We are now effectively directly in the crosshairs of Russian aggression.